it's me, MLB. Here is BNHA Second Generation Chapter 10, and this one is titled Interns. It was the next day at school, and Jinny adjusted her skirt as she walked down the busy hall to her classroom. Chisuki was a little way behind her, his eyes glued to her swishing skirt as it showed off her gorgeously soft, smooth legs as he followed her down the hall. "Jinny," Soshi said happily when he saw her approach him. "Hey, So," she said with a smile, reaching out to give him a good morning hug. "Where's my hug?" Jinny grunted from behind her. She let go of Soshi and spun around to throw herself at her other best friend. "Hey," she said brightly as she squeezed him around the middle. "How you fit?" As Jinny looked up into his face to ask him the question, she saw he had band-aids across his cheek and nose, and it cut her question short. "What happened to your face?" she asked with concern. "It always looks like that," Soshi quipped coyly from behind Jinny. "Jealous, Neanderthal," Chi rebutted. "You hurt your leg during the festival, so why is your face scratched?" Jinny questioned, reaching up to touch the band-aids. "Stop it," Chi grunted as he pushed her hand away, with an embarrassed blush on his cheeks. "You were practicing dodging arrows, weren't you?" Soshi asked with a smirk. "Don't aim them at your face next time. One could have got you in the eye." "Is that supposed to be a caring remark, or are you teasing?" Chi asked with a scowl. "Both," Soshi replied with a smirk. "Okay, you two. God, why are you always like this?" Jinny huffed as she stepped back and let go of Chi, and then pointed her nose in the air and stalked away to her locker. "She's a little more touchy than usual," Chi thought as he watched her go. "She's on edge about the intern thing today," Soshi offered. "Shut up, I knew that," Chi grunted, scowling at Soshi once again. "You think you got a place?" Soshi asked the blonde boy softly. An honest question. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd better have gotten in somewhere," Chi grunted, crossing his arms across his chest. "I'll probably be working at Dad's," Soshi said with a shrug. "I'll work with mine too then," Chi replied. "Jin will probably be with Red Riot." "Naturally," Soshi replied, turning to head down the hall to the classroom as Chi fell in step beside him. "Hey, you good?" the white-haired boy asked. "Yeah, fine." "Okay," Soshi replied, their conversation ending as they entered the room. "Okay, everyone, sit down," Mr. Shinso called from the front of the class. "We'll be revealing the intern placements today." Jinny was already in her seat when Soshi and Chisuki sat down, and they both noted how stiffly she was sitting. Shinso set up the smartboard and typed something in on his laptop to project the class names and allocated requests onto the board, so everyone could see who had been picked by whom. The board lit up as he clicked one last thing, and Jinny quickly scanned down to her name. Beside it was her father's name, Red Riot, Soshi's father's name, Shoto, Kiru's father's name, Deku, Uncle Denki's name, Chargebolt, and... She blinked in disbelief. "No. What? What?" She rubbed her eyes, trying to focus on the last name, reading it and rereading it over and over. "Yo!" someone in the class shouted. "Kirishima got picked by Condor!" The class erupted in screams of surprise and congratulations as Jinny sat there in disbelief. "Todoroki and Bakugou got picked by him too!" another called. Jinsei whipped her head back to stare at her two besties. "Condor?" Chisuki screeched in amazement. "Whoa," Soshi whispered. We got picked? We got picked? We got picked by Condor!" Jinny screamed as she jumped up and stumbled over to Chi, who was the closest to her. He jumped up and grabbed her as she broke down in tears of relief. "I was so worried no one would pick me," she cried. "Condor," Soshi whispered again from his seat, struck with massive case of fanboyitis. "He picked all three of us," Jinny wailed, still overwhelmed that Condor had even considered putting in a request for her to intern there. "This is going to be the best week ever." "I'm just happy I'm with Jinsei," Chi thought as he held her still shaking and sobbing form. Mr. Shinso called the class to order and continued with the debriefing, but Jinsei, Soshi and Chisuki were still in so much shock about being accepted by Condor that they didn't hear much else. It was now close to home time, and Shinso pulled the three kids aside to call Condor from the school phone to accept his offer. "I'll go first," Soshi said bravely as he stepped forwards towards Shinso in the staff room. "Okay," Shinso replied with a yawn. "Go ahead." He handed the phone to Soshi and let the young boy call Condor's agency. Hello, my name is Soshi Todoroki, and I would like to speak to Condor if it isn't too much trouble. It's in relation to the intern offer he extended to me. I mean us, he said stiffly, trying to be as polite as possible. There was a pause as the lady on the other end rang Soshi through to Condor's office, and Jinny and Chi watched on in suspense. Both Chi and Jin heard Condor pick up the other end of the line and say hello, and Soshi froze. "Speak!" Jinny whispered harshly with nervousness. "Speak, Soshi!" Hello, sir. This is Soshi Todoroki," Soshi said nervously. I'm calling to accept your intern offer. Thank you so much." Condor said something as Soshi nodded. "Speak!" Jinny squealed, flapping her hands nervously. "Yes, loudspeaker, of course," Soshi said, looking at Shinso, who leaned over and pressed a button. Condor, you're on loudspeaker now," he said. "Hi all," Condor said to the group present. "Hi, Condor," Jinsei, Chisuki, and Mr. Shinso chorused. "I'm assuming that you're all coming to intern with me then?" Condor said into the phone, and Jinsei and Chisuki nodded. "Say yes," Soshi hissed at them. "Yes," they parroted in return. "Awesome. Looking forward to meeting you next Monday and starting some training," Condor said. "Seismic Kana is also looking forward to teaching you some things. He'll be looking after you as well, so you have a 2-for-1 deal." Jenny let out a hideously loud laugh and immediately slapped her hand to her mouth. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," she whispered with embarrassment. "Thank you for choosing my students," Mr. Shinso then interjected. "I trust that they will be well behaved during their time with you," he added as he stared intently at each one while he spoke. Because we all know our dear hockey might cause some issues. We love Chisuki. Stay tuned for the next chapter, Chapter 11, coming tomorrow.